Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel, lovely people. I got my lip tint on my finger while I was applying on my lips. I'm so sorry if you can hear the television noise. It's coming from the living room. My grandmother is awake and she's watching the TV. So there's that. It's not that late today, so I'm setting the record straight. It's 10:14 p.m. at night. Yes, it is my bedtime, but here I am filming. Okay. So this is, oh my god, I really don't do these kind of videos. So pardon me if I seem out of place or a bit not articulate per se, or if I'm fumbling a bit too much in the middle. Because here's the thing, this video is not what I do on this channel, as I already said. This is something this is something hard. This is not what I do on usual basis either. But yeah, so by the title you can probably tell that this is not a reaction video. This is just going to be me sharing what happened. This story is about the worst date I have ever been on, and the man-child co-worker who couldn't take no for an answer. I have written this as if like I'm writing like a book in chapters. So chapter 1, this happened a few months ago when I joined this really big creative agency. I'm not going to name it, obviously, for obvious reasons, and I'm not going to name the person for obvious reasons. But yes, it still is a really big creative agency that I joined, and it was my very first high pressure creative agency, MNC, that I got a chance to work for. So it was very overwhelming. The whole experience was like, oh my god. The whole time I was there, like my whole first month, I think that first few months, like it was like, oh my god, what am I even doing here? Like, dude, me, like, do I even belong here? I don't think so. Like, what is happening? Like, these all very highly accomplished people who have been to like, wow, very huge colleges, very well educated people. It's not that I'm not educated, I am, but these highly accomplished people and me, what am I even doing here? I felt so out of place. So I was like, holy cow, okay, this is, wow, this is new, this is something that is just, okay, wow. So I was like that whole throughout, and I was like very nervous. I was just trying to survive my very first week. So it all started at a casual hangout. So the HR ordered some snacks for everyone in the office because it was like a very wonderful weather and everyone was in a really good mood that day. So she ordered something. So there we were. So we all of us collected back where the snacks was, and there he was. There was the guy. And I looked at him and I was like, he was wearing a Swiggy jacket, a busboy's jacket, and I was like, okay, well, he seems a bit too polished for a delivery guy. That was my first thought that was going on in my head, and I think that was pretty obvious on my face because the moment he glanced at me, he started laughing, and I could tell why. And he said it as well, like, she's thinking that I'm the busboy, I'm the delivery guy. And that was our very first real exchange, real conversation. And I casually asked him the moment I heard his voice, like, okay, do you sing? And then he was like, okay, why would you ask that? And I was like, no, it's nothing, you got a really nice voice. And that's exactly how I said it. There was nothing. I was being very serious, like very serious. It wasn't even like a compliment. I was just curious to know that if he sings or not, because I don't know. I think I was just trying to start a conversation with him, but clearly he misread it, because from that moment on he just latched on. And by he I mean Chad. Let's call him Chad for the sake of this video. The very next day, after our first real conversation, he invited me to lunch. And I was like, okay. I thought maybe he's just trying to be friendly, you know, because I was new. I just joined the company, so he's just like, he wanted me to be the part of the group. But then he asked for my number, and I was like, and before I could respond to that, he just took it out from the office's WhatsApp group. And I was a bit like, okay, that's a bit hurried of you. You like, why are you in such a hurry? I'm right here. And so yeah, it was a bit odd, if I'm being honest. But again, I didn't really think that much of it at that point. I was like, okay, we both are in the same team. It's fine if he has my number. One day, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, we both will end up being on the same project, working for the same client. Maybe, you know, because he's the art guy and I'm the writer. So eventually, yeah, we will be working together. So yeah, I didn't really think that much about it. But then he stalked my Instagram, and I never gave him my Insta ID. Never ever, not casually, not professionally, not at all. And then came the flood of texts. If not text, he was just like cornering me in the office, like asking me coffee, lunch, after office hangout. And I was like, what is going on? One time, he even said, I quote, I want to shop for some winter clothes. Will you come with me? And I was like, oh, that's odd. Because, let me give you a reason. Because A, we just met. We were not friends. We were colleagues, barely. B, I wasn't his partner. I don't know him. I think by that point, I didn't even know his surname. It just felt oddly intimate and very presumptuous of him. It was just weird. It was just odd. So obviously I said no. Like I had said no to every other of his invitation. Politely, repetitively. And yeah, he wouldn't just stop. He wouldn't. And you know what, guys? The thing was, I didn't want to come across as rude or someone who is like dramatic or who likes to make a scene or something, because I was still new. I was trying to, you know, have my footing at that place, at this crazy big place that I was a part of. I wanted to, you know, make a name for myself at that place. So I didn't want to cause any awkwardness with someone that I have to work with. But he kept pushing and pushing and pushing, interrupting my work meetings, cracking inappropriate jokes, like highly inappropriate jokes. I don't know if I can even put it over here, but one time he said, like, because I think we were talking about like lucid dreaming or something, or sleep paralysis or something. And I don't know what came over to him, and he made this joke that, oh, your grandma humped you in your sleep. And I was like, what? Like, how deranged do you have to be to crack a joke like that? That is not normal. That is not okay. That is just weird and oddly creepy, if I'm being honest. So yeah, he was just like there, always with some new excuse to chat or hang out with me. And yeah, then comes the party. I named it the party situation. So in the same month when I joined, I got invited to this colleague's birthday party. It was a mutual friend. It was in the same creative team, so that's why it was the mutual friend. It was her birthday party and I was also invited to that. And see, here's the thing guys, I'm an introvert. If you guys follow my video, you would probably know that how huge of an introvert I am. I am an extrovert with my bunch of people, but majorly I am a huge introvert, and I really don't like to go out in social settings with people who I just barely know. So it was like, okay, I kind of have to go there because you know what, it's a new place. I kind of want to gel up with these new people. So I went to the party, but I planned my exit like any other introvert would do. I planned my exit priorly. I called my sibling and I called my parents, my father, to call me up around 9:30 or 10. God bless them. God bless them. They did the exact what I told them. They called me and that was my cue. And that's when I said my goodbyes, the moment the call came. And the host, oh my god, bless her heart, she was super kind and she understood, and she was like, okay, thank you so much for coming. But guess what guys, who didn't understood? Chad. Yes, Chad didn't understood. He said, I quote, "Why are you leaving? Let me drop you." To me, I came to the party from my own car. He knew that. The host also knew that. And on top of it, like, I was sober. I don't really drink. I said no clearly and I said firmly, because I thought that, okay, that is weird. Like, why? Like, okay, why would you wanna, like, it does not make any sense. It wasn't like I was like blackout drunk or something that he was offering to drop me at my place. No, I was super sober. And he, on the other hand, he was drunk. And I was like, and when I said no clearly and firmly, he kept pushing. Even the host had to step in multiple times to tell him that, dude, chill, you need to stop. But even then, he hovered. He said, are you sure though you will be able to drive at night? Like, I can drive you back home. And I was like, my place is legit 15 minutes away and I can drive. I'm a good driver. What is even going on? Thankfully, he stopped. He stayed back. But the pattern was clear. It didn't matter how I said no or how many times for that matter. He just didn't care. He just didn't want to listen. I don't know. I don't exactly know what he was trying to do, what he was trying to achieve. Like, I mean, I do have an inclination what he was trying to achieve, but like, what was he trying to pull though? Like, was he trying to be charming? Was he trying to show me that, oh, how much he cared for me, the person whom he just met like few weeks ago? It just didn't make any sense to me. Here's another thing. One time he said to me, let's watch Minions together. Come over to my place. One time he said, I quote, let's watch Minions together. Come over to my place. To that I said, why? We are already going to watch this XYZ movie next week. And you know what, guys? Now that I think about it, like, I have reflected upon all of what happened with him during that short span of time. And the truth is, when I said yes to that movie, when I said like we are already going for that movie, for the XYZ movie, I really didn't want to go. Like, till the last moment, till like earlier to that movie, I was like, I really don't want to go. I still can cancel and stuff because I was exhausted. I was so uncomfortable. But more than anything, I don't know, I kind of felt guilty for saying no to him over and over and over again. I don't even know, like, why I felt guilty to begin with. Like somewhere deep down, I think I felt like I owed him, because he was constantly asking me over and over and over again. But here's the thing, you should not feel guilty to say no to someone about anything. Like, it should be okay to say no to something that you don't want to go to, like that you don't want to do. Like, it's okay to say no. You shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't feel guilty about it. And that's exactly how I was feeling. It was confusing at that time. I don't know what was exactly going on. So yeah, that guilt, that pressure, that's why I said yes. Not because I liked him, not because I liked his company, not because I liked to spend time with him. No, it was not any of the above. It was just like, I think I just said yes because I just wanted to like put an end to it, put a stop to it. Because I don't know why I thought that this would make him stop. Like, this would, like, okay, this would end things. Clearly, that didn't happen. That was my mistake. That was my really, really, really big mistake from my end. That takes us to chapter 4, the date. It was the worst decision I've ever made, and I regret it deeply to this day. I really, really wish that I just cancelled it even at the last moment. I don't even know why I felt guilty to begin with. It was just the date. It was horrible. He showed up high. His eyes were red. He was reeking of weed. He was stinking. Afterwards, like after the movie, we grabbed food. He chose the restaurant, the food, and how much time we are going to spend there, apparently. And there, all he did was just talk about his exes, how many women he has been with, his childhood trauma, how he even dated an actress, but it didn't really work out because she turned out bi and left him. And I was just like, okay, it's just like, okay, too much info. My time, my energy was like declining, and I dropped multiple, and when I say multiple, I mean it, multiple, with my body language. He didn't understand the body language, so I spew it out of my mouth in clear words, like, you know what, I think I'm getting late, I should go. He didn't listen. He didn't care, or he chose not to care. I told him multiple times that, okay, I want to go home. My mom is calling me. It's getting late. But he just like, he ignored everything. He just didn't care at all. He chose not to care at all. And you know what? He also said, let me talk to your mom. When my mom called, let me talk to your mom. I'll tell her that I'm taking care of her daughter. And I was like, I was creeped out. That is creepy. Like, what is like with you? That is just weird to me. When we finally left the restaurant, I walked to my car, I got in, and I even started it to leave because I was like, finally, it's over, thank God. But he walked up and literally stopped, and he literally was like, where are you going? Hold on, wait till my ride comes. And my oh my, he literally dragged that goodbye for another 20 to 25 minutes. He lit up a smoke, he started smoking. I was wondering like when he's going to book his Uber. He didn't until he finished his cigarette. And then he booked a scooter, and then he started talking for another 15 or 20 minutes. And it was just like never ending. And there, like, I was just standing there. I was so uncomfortable. And that time as well, I said multiple times that, you know what, I should leave. It's getting really late. And we were standing outside the mall. It's not really safe. The people, I didn't feel safe. The people around, it was just weird. It was creepy. And he wasn't just listening. He was just like, just standing there. Like, and I don't know, the flight or flight response, mine wasn't working. I just froze to that place. I mean, yeah, a lot of you guys can say like, why did you not go if you were not feeling safe, or why were you just standing there? You should have just left. I don't know why I didn't. Okay, the simple answer is I don't know why I didn't. Maybe like, yeah, one of the major reasons, maybe like, yeah, we have to see each other day after tomorrow. We work in the same place. And I thought that, yeah, it is going to make things awkward if I left like that. Okay, now that brings us to chapter 5. It didn't just stop there. So he kept texting me afterwards, not right afterwards, like after a few days, begged me to watch Minions with him, insisted on coming to my house late at night, or asked me to come over to his place, which was okay. Didn't want that, clearly. I obviously said no. He pushed. So what? Your family is in town. So what? So what? You do have your own room, right? And I was like, my guy, oh my God, why are you like this? Like, why is it so hard for you to take hints or take no for an answer? Why is it so hard for you to just like stop? When someone is saying no, just stop. Like, what else am I supposed to do? What else am I supposed to say to you? If I'm saying no, can you not end it there? Obviously he couldn't, for some godforsaken reason. And when that didn't work, he said, okay, let's FaceTime. Let's watch it together on FaceTime. I said no again and again. So this is my mistake. This is like, I don't know why I did it again. Eventually, like, just to shut him down, just to shut it all down, I just gave in once again. And that was my biggest mistake. Again, I regret it deeply. It was a huge blunder from my end, a huge mistake from my end. I just wanted him to stop bugging me every night about the same thing. He used to just text me about the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, every night, in a stretch. And I just like, Jesus Christ, I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to stop. It's not like I didn't say no. It's not like, I don't know how else could I be just more clear. You know, just sometimes you just, sometimes you're just like saying no to things over and over again. It's just like still someone is just like pushing you over and over and over again to get you to do that thing. You just like, in the end, you just like kind of give up, just to like, okay, just shut up. Just shut up. Okay, just shut up, please. I think I was just trying to do that, but obviously it was a huge mistake, a huge blunder. I know that now. I know my mistake now. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have. I couldn't block him, obviously, for obvious reasons. We work at the same place. Didn't want it to make a huge issue of it. But it was an issue. It was an issue. I just didn't know how to deal with it. Yes, by now I'm pretty sure a lot of you are fuming and saying, why did you not report him to the HR? Why did you not report him to the HR? Well, I'm going to mention that if you will stick around to the very end, why I didn't. and why I couldn't, rather. Okay. Then came his another ask. He said, I need a +1 for a gathering after a few days. And I asked, what gathering? He said, oh, it's my friend's birthday. And I was like, okay, why are you asking me? He mentioned the location and everything. The location was 2 hours away from my home. It was a house party with a bunch of strangers that I had no idea about. I barely knew him. So I didn't even know what was going through his head. Like, okay, I get it. Like, if you like someone, you will try to pursue them or anything. It's one thing to pursue them in a proper manner, and it's one thing to infatuate over someone and stalk someone and bother someone and pester someone over and over and over again. It's like he wasn't just listening to me. He didn't once try to understand who I was as a person. He didn't once try to understand my POV. So I obviously said that, you know what? Because I knew, like, okay, it's fishy. It sounded fishy. It's a house party with a bunch of strangers. Okay, I don't want to fall into that trap, that kind of trap. I immediately said no. I said, my dad is in town and I want to spend time with him. He said, so what? Tell him that you're going out with a colleague. And again, to that I said, no. I would rather spend my time with him, my dad. And that got him passive aggressive, because the next thing he wrote, I quote, then flip it on him. Say, don't you want me to have a social life? So he basically wanted me to guilt trip my dad so I could go to a stranger's birthday party as his +1. That's how entitled he felt. I don't even know what crossed his mind to think that me, an introvert, would go to a stranger's party, and that too, to a place that is 2 hours away from my home. And then the time came and I was like, okay, I cannot have it. Like, I cannot, I need to put a stop to it, like all of it. So I said, like, I cannot do this anymore. Whatever it is, I cannot do this. I don't want to be a part of this. As simple as that. And I said this multiple times. This as well, multiple times, because I said it once. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. He still was bothering me after I said no to him at first. I said this whole thing to him twice, if not twice, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it was twice that I cannot do this. I cannot do this. And this is the very last time when I said it. Like, I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to be a part of this. And then he said, you sure? You know, I could pester you, but I don't do that. Are you sure you don't want this? And I said, yes, firmly and clearly. And that was my final no to him. And the audacity of this guy to say that, you know, I could pester you, but I don't, when clearly that is what he's doing since day one. You must be thinking that, okay, it finally stopped. No, it didn't. Well, that stopped, but then began the public humiliation, because this guy, he couldn't take no for an answer. He didn't take it well. He found my private YouTube channel. I mean, obviously it's not private, it's pretty public, anyone can watch it. But here's the thing, guys, I'm not that famous. Nobody really know who I am. And my audience is not even targeted to the place that I live in. it's targeted to a different country altogether, different countries, plural. And that is my major audience. So finding my YouTube channel here is like finding a needle in a haystack, which was pretty hard, but he's a good stalker, so he found my YouTube channel, something I never shared with anyone at work. It's something that I don't talk about because I keep it personal and separate from my work, because they don't need to know that, you know, they don't need to know that I have this. But he showed it to the entire creative team just to humiliate me. Yelled across the room that, oh, look, your video just popped up in my recommendation, congratulations, with a smirk, just so everyone could hear, and because he knew that it would make me uncomfortable. He knew that it will humiliate me. He knew that it is something that I don't share. And then it all started. He gave me a made-up nickname from one of my videos, from my series of video skits on my YouTube shorts, Jabudaya. It's a character that I made up. He started calling me that in front of everyone in office, and yeah, it was humiliating, obviously. He said I look like a 14-year-old boy, mocked my work, interrupting the shoots that I was leading. One time, he said, I quote, who even made you a copywriter during a shoot because I misspelled something on a prop mistakenly. And when I told him to stop in front of everyone, he just said, oh, it's all for fun, it's just a joke. But it never felt like fun. It never felt like a joke to me. It felt targeted. It felt like I was being bullied. Then came another incident. One afternoon, after lunch, when I was walking back to my desk after having lunch, he yelled, catch, and threw something at me. It was food wrapped in foil. I didn't catch it. I was shocked and I was disgusted. I was like, ew, like what is that? And I went to my place, my desk. He walked over, placed that thing on my desk and said, if you don't want them, just feed them to the dogs outside. And I was like, you feed them. Like, why are you giving it to me? I'm not going to go downstairs. It was like, no, you care about the dogs, you feed them. I'm like, just take that away from me. I said, I'm not taking that. Keep that away from me. He smirked and said, well, Jay asked me to give it to you. So if you have a problem, you go talk to her. And there were people around. There were a lot of witnesses to this incident. Some laughed. I felt humiliated. And here's a real shocker. Here's a real kicker, guys. HR was also there because she sits right beside me, right behind me. She laughed and said to him, why are you like this? And that was it. That was all that she said. Nothing else. Nothing questionable about his behavior or anything. Which was like, okay. So you might be wondering, like I asked you before as well, you must be wondering, like, why did I not report him? Why? Like, why? Well, the HR, like I said, HR has seen his behavior and laughed along. And he is charming, he's loud and funny, he's well liked in the office. And I know how this is going to play out if I were to report him. I knew. And here's the thing, I was scared. I was dead scared. Like, I was new at their place. I was like making my place in the world, making my place in this industry. So I was shit scared. I was like, I don't really want to mess up my career. It's as simple as that. It's like, my career is really important to me. It's what I live by, you know. It is my reason to live for, basically, yeah. So, and yeah, I pretty much knew how it's all going to play out. They might pin it on me. They might say I'm too sensitive. They might say that, you know what, you should stand up for yourself with equal weight. If he's saying something, say it back to him. But it's not my job to teach him basic manners and etiquettes and to respect people's boundaries and to just act professional in an office setting. It is not my job. So yeah, I just don't want it to be labeled as this dramatic overreactor. Is that even a word? Overreactor kind of a person. I didn't want a drama. I just wanted peace. I just wanted to like have a peaceful work environment where I can just flourish and do my job and just go home in peace. Okay. And I thought that if I'm just polite and respectful, he would just back off eventually. But I was clearly wrong. I was just wrong. It didn't do anything. He didn't back off. But I did learn something from all of this, was that silence only protects those who is making the noise. It just basically only protects the person who is making your life miserable. So yeah, that was all that happened. And yeah, that was my story. I just want to add one more thing. Like if something like this has ever happened to you, and if you were ever made to feel like that you're overreacting for setting a boundary or taking your stand, it's just wrong. You're not overreacting. You're just taking your stand. You're standing up for yourself. And yeah, I see you and I hear you and I respect you, because it takes a lot of courage. I know that now. It takes a lot of courage. And salute to you for doing that for yourself. What else? And yes, one more thing. If someone keeps pushing you for saying no again and again, it's not on you, it's on them. It says about them as a human being and nothing about you. And okay. I think I'm just going to end this video over here. This went a bit too far for my liking. I don't know. I don't really make videos like this. It's really hard for me to put myself out like this, like talk about these kind of things like this. So pardon me if it didn't make any sense, or I don't know, yeah, if it felt out of place or anything. But yeah, if you have listened to the whole thing and made it till the very end, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for being here. And yes, I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye bye.